One of the things I struggled really intensely with in my life, especially my early adulthood, was making decisions. For whatever reason, I could not make a decision to save my life. It was every time I was faced with some type of decision about the direction or the path of my life, I would break down. It would be so overwhelming for me and so frustrating because not only was it hard for me to decide what path I wanted to take in my life, but none of the options that I would think of were even compelling to me. So often it was like choosing one of the two evils. There's a few reasons why this happened for me and maybe for you as well. And two things come to mind when I think about why this matter was such a big deal for me. One, I think there was a lack of trust with myself and knowing what's good for me. And two was the whole matter of not knowing myself, period, not even knowing what I desired out of life, not knowing what I valued and what I wanted for myself. This was so frustrating for me and any young person, honestly, because how can we expect young people to know what they want to do for their entire life? So that's one sort of frustrating situation to navigate in your early adulthood. Maybe you know what you want to do with your life. And if that's the case, congratulations. A lot of us, however, are dealing with knowing that they need to make decisions, maybe not finding much appeal out of the options that they have, and not knowing where to connect to themselves and how to actually make the decision. A lot of us, when it comes to decision making, we don't put ourselves in the driver's seat. Maybe a lot of the decisions you've made in your life were based on how other people would react, how other people would approve of the decision you make. Maybe you're a young person and your parents want you to go follow a certain pathway that you don't really want to take, but they're pressuring you, so you feel that you're forced to make the decision. Maybe you're making decisions based off of pressure from your peers. What are people in your age group doing? What are your friends doing? What is the general consensus of what people in your position should be doing right now? These are all frustrating to say the least because you're not really living a life for yourself, you're living it for other people. So when it came to learning about myself and knowing who I am, this was a process. In the beginning, I didn't even care to know. I was just living on autopilot and I was content somewhat living that way, just going through life not really caring because the idea of really caring about your life and caring about the direction and taking action to fulfill your purpose in life was very overwhelming and not something that a lot of people I knew were doing. Most people were living in that first example that I was giving you of doing what everybody else is doing, expecting to fit in and just want to be considered normal and average. A lot of people are okay being average, but I feel that most of us have a part of ourselves that wants more. Maybe it's buried very, very deep down, but it's still there. It's craving for more. It's craving for higher, expanded versions of yourself. And I got to a point where I was so dissatisfied with the state of my life that I figured, maybe I still have all of this energy and this courage. Why not just do something, even if people are going to have things to say about that? This is a scary choice to make, honestly. And the reason that I was able to get there in the first place is by listening to myself and knowing myself much deeper than I have been previously. Before, I didn't really care to learn about myself, and then I picked up a lot of habits of spending more intimate time with myself, journaling, discovering my values and the things I really care about in life. And all of those things motivated me to put it all together into some sort of purpose and some sort of greater direction that I want to follow in my life. Taking a choice like this, it's a big risk. You don't know how people in your life are going to respond to it. You don't know if you're even going to be successful. Sometimes you don't even know what you want to do. You just know what you don't want to do. And that was the decision that I had to face and make because previously I was making only safe decisions, decisions that I knew I would be comfortable with, that didn't really push me to be more. It just kept me playing safe. I was liked by the people I cared to be liked by. I was feeling secure in my job or my position. But there was missing that fulfillment and that spice to my life that I was really craving. And yeah, overall, life wasn't where I wanted. Maybe you're feeling this way too. Maybe you feel ready to push yourself to be something more than the people around you expect you to be. As I was searching for answers on what to do, I was praying and looking for some guidance on what are the actions that I need to do to fulfill my dreams, to fulfill the visions that I want to move forward with. And typically, I would when I would ask those questions, I would tune in and listen attentively on what this intuitive self, what it is leading me to. Because again, when you connect to that part of yourself that longs for expansion and fulfillment, you have this strong intuitive force and guidance that wants to take you there. The matter is if we are willing to listen or not. So I decided that I was willing to listen and I would spend time with myself every day to try to connect with that part and see what this intuitive self was telling me to take action on. So I would listen, I would pray for answers. What do I need to do next? And here's the kicker is I would get an answer back and I would resist it and push it away. Does this sound familiar? Do you ever have this problem? I found there was a lot of times in my journey when I didn't know what choice to make next, and I would get the answer and yet pretend as though I didn't hear it. Like I would know deep down, but the answer that it gave me in the action step that it was telling me to fulfill was too scary for me, too out of my comfort zone to deal with. So I would resist it and pretend it wasn't there and think, okay, sure, I felt that, but that's not really what I need to do. And I would just wait and wait for another answer to come. No new answer would come. I would still get the same feeling. And as soon as I would feel this answer bubble up, I would push it away. In fact, a part of me internally would be screaming every time that this answer came up. I was so frustrated by it. I didn't want to do this, I was too scared. So, not only when you make a decision like this, do you have that fear and that of the initial risk of what if this doesn't work out? What am I doing? But now more fears start to bubble up after that. Now it's fear of putting yourself out of your comfort zone and taking up new activities that you had never done before. So you can imagine that when you're going through something like this, when you're running away from the answer that your intuition is giving you, it's not helpful. I was noticing that time was moving, but I still wasn't. The reason that I'm sharing this video for you is if there is some intuitive nudge, some intuitive action that has been inside of you that you know is there, but you've been ignoring it, please listen to what it's telling you, especially if it keeps coming back up. Sometimes you might get a little sliver of an idea and then it kind of goes away. You don't think about it again. That one's not such a big deal, but if you keep getting that feeling inside that you need to take action and do something, please, I am begging you, do it. Even if it doesn't work out, it is going to bring you so much more peace knowing that you have done it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep eating away at you. And when you move through life energetically, you are going to feel like there is like some unfinished business, like something you need to act on, and you won't be able to really rest. That's the whole message, really. Just please listen when you get that guidance. Don't overthink it. Just take the action, even if it's scary, if it scares you. You may be wondering if I'm going to encourage you to move through that fear. Of course I am. Of course, move through that fear. Change can only happen outside of your comfort zone. So, realistically, the fear is going to be there, but it's important that you are able to move through it despite it. It's going to be there. Don't expect that you're going to eliminate it. Just move through it. And I feel when you get into the habit of moving through fear and moving out of your comfort zone, it feels so rewarding and motivating, and then you can go into an upward spiral, which is always fun. So think about that. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that message out for not only you, but for me, because I feel it's very important when I say things out loud. Because when I do that and share it, then it has to really stick, right? So if you're seeing this video and it's resonating with you, and you know that there's something you need to take action on, girl, just do it. You are ready. There's nothing more you need to do. Just take the action. Otherwise, it will eat you alive. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, enjoy your Friday. Bye.